Fucking Leon Fernie is in.
Why is he in this? No.
Oh.
It's alright, he'll drop it first lap and then he'll be at the back.
It's not even that. Fucking annoying, isn't it?
Yes, we've got the highlights on.
Good job on the last highlights, mate.
Thank you very much. It fucking took me all day yesterday to do just that. There was one bit I was very proud of, though.
What?
Early on, Gary and Craig E going up towards the second DRS zone. The third one, sorry, the back straight. And then it transitions to the two Red Bulls up the same straight. And I was like, oh, that's very nice, that one. That was the only one I was really proud of. The rest I thought was shit. But we'll get there.
Start, mate.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But this is what he's going to then...
Really.
Well, this is... with not having Liam available at the time, because he knows a bit how to do the sound and that, I was struggling. Because I was hoping to have my voice over the top of it. So, but this is what's going to come in them the future streams as well. That's future championships.
Research it. You don't need Liam all the time, surely.
When he's told me once, that's it. So like when he's back home this weekend, he'll probably be able to tell me. And then I'll have it then. I'll jot it down in my notebook, it'll be there. I didn't actually think too bit yesterday.
Liam's too busy trying to fucking...
Protest at fucking... Yeah, he's protesting, wasn't he?
Alright.
Cool.
Bozzy boy.
He's a rank target.
No, what's missing on the first screen now when the highlights show? I think it's missing like some thing play, like overlay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like We Are Simplay or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to do all that in Photoshop and then like convert it over to Premiere Pro and shit like that. I did watch that on a YouTube video yesterday, but not for the sound. So yeah, that one I'm learning how to do. I'm just kind of using F2 as my sort of like testing thing ready for Season 7. This and ACC, I can just test everything to do highlights with, and then, yeah. There's a good bit, by the way, down at the end with you and Gary that I quite like.
Yeah, I watched that bit.
And I also thought, oh, you can't miss up this opportunity, can you?
What, me and Keith hitting each other?
Yeah, I got that in there. Yeah, I got that in there.
It's just funny now, isn't it?
Checking me, fucking disgrace.
Checking the checkered flag, even though it's not actually been thrown, even though we're on the second straight.
Hey, the marshals better fucking do their job right tonight. No showing me fucking checkered flags about 3 laps early.
They showed everyone.
I was so confused.
What made me laugh is the fact that we even gave each other team orders. I was like, get out of the way, let me go. Yeah, mate, I'll go, I'll let you go, I'll let you go. Bang! Shit.
Brilliant.
If I wasn't there, you would have gone straight on and in the wall, and I would have got second.
Straight was longer than what it actually was, to be honest.
I think this is who's gonna be consistent tonight on this one.
So I'm gonna be shouting quality. I'm doing like 26.6, 26.7.
Quali, I'm just gonna put a lap in.
I mean, that's all you can do anyway, is put one lap in. So.
But I'm not expecting to do like a go out flat out kind of thing. Just at least get around and put a lap on the board.
I sat there yesterday, right? Today, sorry, and was like, when I was doing the highlights. No, yeah, yesterday. And I was thinking, was Dan right to get pole position? And the more I thought about it, I thought about it and I thought, sprint race, you got less time to fucking get through the pack and get to the front, yeah? Feature race, you've got a whole pit stop and everything, bit of a longer race. So I honestly sat there and thought, is it worth getting the feature race pole? The answer to that is, I don't know. There's pros and cons for both, because if you let Forzy and Gary get away in the feature race, harder to catch, instead of starting near them. But then again, you've got that chance of having a win in the sprint race, but it's less points. You know, there's pros and cons to both, I think.
Well, I think that's the point.
I think basically, aim for 5th, because then you'll start 5th in the feature race, and you'll be 5th in the sprint race. Job done.
I think
It's one shot quality, so you can't really aim for stuff.
You can watch your dashboard if you use the steering wheel view because it tells you what position you're in. If you look at your steering wheel, top left corner of the steering wheel, say like P5 or something. Right. DJ Phil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people in. No Bryn, no Shane. I doubt there's going to be a Buzzy. Joe's on holiday. Here's Dan, that's 8. No Gary.
no Gary tonight.
No Ace Smith at the minute. Oh, he is racing, but he's just not here at the minute.
I forgot who I was driving at then.
To be honest, I forgot as well. I was like, I know I'm Colin, but which fucking driver am I?
I don't have to do the same strategy I did last time.
Right, buddy. See you later, Des. See you later. Smithy's just asked what NFA stands for.
NFA? What, Clive Smith?
Yeah, Clive Smith, that's what NFA stands for. Right, just pop to the toilet.
Hi! Me and fucking Borgie in the Red Bull cars are leaving at the same time, you know.
Gary 131 is now in.
Right, let's start my stream.
Everyone talking about 7.
Yeah, it was posted on the Discord. And then I've texted people on Facebook who haven't got Discord. Oh, this is the bit of Dan and Gary's epic battle. I'm on Sector 2 because Phil and Joe have made... I even got Phil upside down on there. No worries, bud. Best luck tonight. Tell Piano say good luck as well. Inside.
Hello, my stream. We're live. I'm not really looking at the minute. I'm trying to spread my stream round. Slash the. No, it's .tv, isn't it? .tv slash unorthodox. Is it mad that I can remember my URL website code? Got Ryan Reynolds in the background. Special guest appearance, which is nice to see him here. I am trying to load up my stream so I can see people's messages. So, evening all, and I bet it's just people spamming. Gary, have I got time for a quick poo? Matt, has Gary got time for a quick poo?
He needs to pick his driver, but yeah, I'd say so.
He needs to pick his driver, and yeah, you can go for a quick poo. Evening, Tigress. I see you in the chat. Where's my wire? There it is. Ah! Yeah! I'm fat! Oh. Who is my driver again? I don't fucking know. Don't ask me.
You're Dan Tickton.
They're not me, Gary.
Oh.
I've got Dan Tickton.
Fucking hell, Bert. Dan.
Yeah, Bert.
Theo Porsche.
Theo Porsche.
Man, you don't like my comment?
I haven't seen it, mate. Good luck from PN. Cheers, PN. Is it just you spamming loads of freaking like Aston Martins? Because I really don't like that shit.
Are you spamming my Aston Martin?
I don't know what it is. I can't see the comments now. I've tilted my phone.
Please.
Do you know what? I've got 7 people watching already and I haven't seen it. Emplava is here too. I'm going toilet, hold fire, says Gary. So, he's off for a shit. Let's share this stream. Share it who? Where's Discord? There's Discord.
I've even shared your stream a little bit for you.
Oh, thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome.
You're so kind.
It's on this thing I use for my stream. 11 people in. That's all we had for last week's race. Bryn's taking his daughter's friend home at the minute, so he's on his way back.
I don't want direct messages. I want it to. Where's F1? Am I following F1? I don't fucking know.
Oh, look, there's Oh, on the stream. It's not come up yet on the stream. Dan's currently side by side with Gary. I think the highlight after this is Dan and Keeks.
Smithy needs an invite, says Gary. Oh, he did.
I've sent him one. Not yet. It's the highlights. I'll put it on the stream. This is what I'm doing with the highlights each week. They're going to go on. So that you're not just looking at starting soon screen for ages. Look, I've even put the tables on Emma.
I've got a 2-litre bottle of piss. Let's go. Ryan Reynolds for good luck in the background. What more do you need?
Can there not be more people?
Yeah, Bryn's on his way back.
10 people currently watching. Whoa! Guys, please hit that follow button.
I need more people, like. Just
Well,
so I'm not last, if you know what I
We hopefully will be underway, ladies and gentlemen, soon. Once Gary's had a poo.
Oh, is he on the shitter?
He's on the shitter, mate.
Hurry up, man.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, you damn, we're P4.
God.
We're fucking shit.
Just remember, man, it was just strategy, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Giving them false thought. Giving them false thought that they were going to win, but actually they're not.
Yeah, we're just, you know, we're making them think that we are shit.
Yeah.
But we are not the
I even put next week's fucking thumbnail on the end logo. Yes. Fucking good I am.
Let's go racing, says Gary. Let's go.
Yep, just holding off.
Oh.
You know,
I'm just holding off a minute because Bryn's on his way back from taking his daughter's friend out, and Shane's currently typing. Right, I'm going to jump in a party.
Shane.
Yeah, Shane's in with Bryn's teammate. Yeah, I'm going in another party
okay.
now. Best luck to everybody. Catch you
Ciao now, brown cow.
after. When I find a party with the right person. There we go. Floyd, shut up. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Portimao. Algarve is the destination for today's racing. We are here, and I am Matthew Duffin, your commentator, bringing you through the whole action of this evening's race. 12 drivers, hopefully we get up to 14 a little later on. A couple currently missing, as we are going to be this week on board with this man Fury. You won't be able to see the drivers, all of them on the track together, as it is one-shot qualifying, but don't forget the drivers' names at the side will always change. New driver in for tonight is Smoky Devil, so what an honour it is to see him here in this one. Gary leads the way by 11 points from Forzy, with Rabbit Joe in third. He's on holiday, so not here tonight. Lucas Roth is P4. Sorry, no, he's not. Not sure what's happened there. According to the standings, it says PM Motorsport is on a lot more points than what he should be. So I'm just working this one out. Him and Jamie Brazier apparently have 25 points for a round at Spain, so I'm not quite sure why that is, but that should now have sorted itself out. PM Motorsport is 5th place with Fury, the man on pole position, the man in qualifying at the moment in P6. Craig E in 7th, DJ Phil 8th, Dan Down in 9th with A. Smith 10th, Bryn 11th, and then Big Boy Brazier, Shane, Leon Fernie, Buzzy Boy and Smoky Devil yet to score. ART lead the Constructors' Championship 7 points clear of High Tech with Trident in P3, Calling Down in 4th, Kramer in 5th place with HWA Race Lab in 9th, MP Motorsport 7th, Campos Racing yet to get off the mark, as is Univitosi Racing, as Fury's coming to the end of his lap. And who is going to be the driver to put it on pole? It is Dan by 200ths of a second. Fury will qualify 6th place, so unorthodox here then, his second F2 pole, and as we know, that will count towards the feature race. The top 10 will be reversed for the sprint, so unorthodox with work to do in this first race, coming from the back of the pack. He has got a lot of work to do. You see there, DJ Phil will be the man on pole. So it's unorthodox from Jamie. Leon Fernie P3 with Forzy 4th, Gary in 5th, Fury 6th, Lucas Roth 7th, PN 8th, A. Smith 9th, Smoky Devil 10th, Craigie 11th, and DJ Phil 12th. The top 10 will be reversed for the feature race. So Smoky Devil will get pole position in the feature race. Craigie and DJ Phil will start 11th and 12th. If you do like what you see here at Simply Motorsport, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified. We are 8 subscribers away from that magic 100. Poll going out. Who will win race 1, or the sprint race as it is? We wait to. I hope you enjoyed the little highlights package we put together for you at the beginning of this race. So drivers then picking their final setups and getting ready to go. Poll going out. If you disagree with who you think is on this list, don't forget you can change your answer. You do not have to go with the one we have set. So Gary, currently your championship leader. Dan, having another pole position to his name, puts him on 18 pole positions and is 1 behind Gary 131. He is 2 behind that of Big Boy Brazier. He is still some margin off the back of Andy, though. But Dan tonight can extend his win streak over Fury. Gary can go ahead of Jamie and become 3rd on the all-time winners list here at Simply Motorsport. Across all our leagues that we have ran in the past and are running in the future, all race wins in league races, not fun races, will count. So Fury, 2nd on that list. Gary and Jamie tied 3rd. But here we go then. It is Smoky Devil who is going to be on the pole for the formation lap. And we'll just get everything we need up while the drivers are on their formation lap. Kit of tonight's racing. And what are we going to see around here as we say a good evening to PN and Fury's granddad in the chat? What can we expect to see from Portimao? It looks absolutely beautiful here in the weather conditions. Bryn has managed to get himself in, so Bryn will be 13th place. That is great to see Bryn in, and great to see him scoring some more points. He's making his way near that 100 race start mark, and will be a bit closer with his 2 races tonight. A man who's going to be the next man to make his 100th or 150th or 50th is Adam Plava, who in race 1 next week will make his 50th race start. Hopefully we hear from him in the chat a little later on. But at the minute then, Gary and Gary leading the way for 50% of the votes. 4 votes currently in. Lucas Roth and Smokey Devil tied on 25%. Nobody thinks A. Smith will win this. A. Smith second on the grid. Lucas Roth 4th on the grid. And PN has a great shout. So there is Smokey Devil. Then there is A. Smith. That is PN Motorsport. Lucas Roth then currently out of position. He's actually ahead of PN, and now PN comes back into place. Fury in P5, Gary's P6, Forzy 8th, Forzy 7th, Leon Fernie is 8th, but because he's tapped another car, it's put him on the grid. Don't worry about it saying disqualified. He actually isn't. Big Boy Brazier 9th on his first F2 outing. Dan right behind him with Craigie, DJ Phil and Bryn. Bryn actually in the wrong car, but he'll score points for his normal team. Obviously, Bryn got in late, so it doesn't matter. Green Pies in the chat saying, good luck, lads. Great to see the Green Pies in the chat. Hopefully he'll be able to join us back later on in the year when F1 2022 gets underway. Obviously, he's had a big move to Malta, which is why he couldn't finish the season in F1 2021, in which he came runner-up in and nearly got beaten by Gary, but managed to have enough points throughout the season to do just that. But it to be a great shame to not see Green Pies on the grid. Great to have him here with us then as the drivers line up. And that camera angle down to turn 1. Who is going to take the lead? That is the biggest question. Who will take the lead into the sharp right-hander? What will happen? Sprint race, then feature race. So a lot of time to go. What is going to happen for these drivers then? The lights come on. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Held for a long time, it's green and go, and it's a great start in the middle of the pack. That looks like it's Jamie Brazier. PN Motorsport has got a shocking start already, down 4 places, and Smokey Devil and A. Smith through turn 1. Smokey a little wide, that should give A. Smith the run. Lucas Roth's already up to P3, and A. Smith still attacking the front of that car. Yellow flag, and that is PN Motorsport, who is down 10 place, had a terrible start. Leon Fernie, 10-second time penalty for corner cutting then. All these drivers on the soft tyre, so that is an interesting strategy way to go. Then obviously tyre choices will differ. Lucas Roth looking up the inside. Sorry, that's Fury up the inside of what looks to be Lucas Roth, and Smokey Devil has dropped down the pack, and somebody has a bit of wing damage further back. On board with Forzy, Dan looks like he's missing an M plate on his car with DJ Phil, Craig, Leon Fernie, Bryn and PM Motorsport, but it's Smithy from Fury, Lucas Roth. That's another bit of wing, and whose wing is it? It looks like it is that of this man, Smokey Devil, who's missing an M plate. Gary's up to 5th, Jamie in 6th place, Forzy 7th. Can he make the run through the pack that he needs to have? As down at the back of the pack, look, Leon Fernie, 10-second time penalty, but having a look on the back of Craigie as Bryn further down has got PM Motorsport all over the back of him. Here comes Leon to have a look on the back of Craigie. No can do there though, and towards the line then to complete what has been a fantastic start to this race, a fantastic first lap in this race. It's going to be A. Smith who qualified mid-pack. Lucas Roth very wide in the background, you see there, as Forzy has got himself ahead of Smokey Devil then further down the pack. Look at Jamie Brazier having a look on Gary 131, and that is going to be job done. Thank you, Mama, for the carrot, says Jamie Brazier. Up the inside, Gary on the medium tyre. So the interesting thing here is these drivers, let's take a look at what tyre they're on then, because that could be massive. Everybody on the soft spot. Gary, we've lost Bryn, who's into the pits, so not sure what's happened there. His AI will still score points for him though in this race, but at the minute then, he's in the pits. Gary, the only driver on the mediums, is that the way for Gary to go, or will the softs last 26 laps in this sprint race? It is going to be fascinating to see, and Gary may have pulled the strategy of a lifetime. He's now on the back of him as we go further forward. Fury trying to look at Smithy, but has Lucas Roth hunting him down. As we drop down the order, what's happened to Smokey Devil? He's had enough, and with that bit of wing damage, PN now gets through into P11. Craigie, Leon Ferdy, DJ Phil, all on the back of Dan. Dan's also got a bit of wing damage here. Yellow flag in the middle sector. That is this man who has had enough and has to rejoin and let DJ Phil through, and maybe might lose out to Leon Ferdy up the inside. Will he? Just about, I think so, but that promotes little Lucas Roth into that P2 with Jamie, Gary and Forsey right on the back of him. How are these softs going to last to the end? I'm not sure. Green Pie says he should be back racing in August. That'll be great to see as Big Boy Brazier now look right on the back of Lucas Roth. No DRS open yet as we change the camera angle. Look, Jamie sets the fastest lap of the race, and through goes Jamie Brazier up the inside of Lucas Roth, and that is job done. But a little wide. Does that give Keegs a run up the inside? No, it does not. It does now though into 3, and he has to yield that time. Gary just behind him having a super look as well, and Lucas Roth here then away already, and a great Jamie Brazier then away already, and a great start to this race for him. Leon Fernie has lost out to Fury in the background. Oh, and Fury and Leon Fernie make contact and both into the wall, and PN will be up to 9th, Craig up to 10th. And Fury has no wing whatsoever. Now the teammates collide. Bryn has managed to get back in the session, so that's great to see. And Gary on the back of Lucas Roth, who is hunted down Big Boy Brazy. But what's happened to Smithy? A wiggle somewhere in the through the corner, and that is inviting Jamie Brazier right onto the back of him here. And Jamie having a huge look. Yellow flag in the middle sector. That is a spinning Smoky Devil with the looks things. Bryn has pitted though, don't forget. Has gone onto that soft tyre. You do not have to change tyres in this sprint race. You do in the feature though, and at the minute Gary 131 doing the business so far. How is Little Smith on a pole for people to fill in, because he was starting at the front of the pack in the sprint race. Smithy, as Jamie Brazier now hunting down A. Smith for that lead of this race. He pulls out now, and look at the camera angle down to the side. Over the line they come, and Jamie Brazier swoops past us. Dan now sets the fastest lap of the race. Little Lucas Roth can have a look on Smithy in the background, and that was Gary and Forsey. Forsey having a little look. Dan though, that is his sights. Jamie, Smithy, Lucas Roth, Gary, Forsey, and then Dan himself, the calling car. But it is the two of the I do believe ART boys who are sitting up there in the standings at the minute and looking pretty. It is the ART boys of Smithy and Gary who are currently going to score some big constructors points. There's a spinner, and that is Craigie in a wall. As we drop back down to him, what has happened? He doesn't look like he's fully lost his front wing as Fury and Leon Ferdy are in the pit. Smoky Devil though will get the chance to come past. He doesn't look like he's got any damage there, as Bryn will hopefully start to gain on the back of Fury and Leon Fernie, who are both on their way out the pit, so you'll be closer, but not close enough. What's happened to Jamie then out front, as A. Smith and Lucas Roth have both got through, and Jamie finds himself attacking Lucas Roth here then, but has Gary close behind, and Gary's going to look up the inside, and Jamie has to move late to give Gary plenty of room, and now Jamie's going to have the inside line, and Gary, ever the opportunistic, will see any gap and take it, tied on 23 race wins apiece, and these two having a fantastic battle with Forsey and Unorthodox catching as well. But a bad lap for Jamie there then has really seen him lose out. Medium tyre for Fury and Leon Ferdy. That should see them go to the absolute end. Here comes Gary. Here comes Jamie. On then Lucas Roth. Quicker in a straight line is Jamie. And up the inside as he forces Lucas Roth and himself very wide. Lucas Roth could get bombarded by Gary, who has a crunch of wing. Break off. And it doesn't look too bad from that view. But Gary up ahead of Lucas Roth. Yellow flag in the second sector. And that is Bryn. And who is that? Who's a spinner? It's Lucas Roth and Gary 131 who's tagged each other and gone round. And wing damage for Gary. Lucas Roth as well. And Gary 131, a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Lucas Roth. Forsey and Dan capitalising from that one. As Gary gets back out of PN, Jamie then will now look to hunt down after A. Smith once again, but for Unorthodox here as it's going very, very cloudy overhead, look. Very dark it is going as Dan now has no cars to worry about behind him and has the chance to get ahead of Forsey in this race. Evening to Mother Davis in the chat. 20 people watching, 8 likes on the video. Apologies for the language there, as Mother Davis joins us as well. The sprint race always provides brilliant entertainment. You imagine Lucas Roth and Gary's going to have to pit. But what will that do? Bryn had a spin, I do believe, as well. Fury's had another moment. He's had a big off. And Bryn then could be about to try and come through. No, Fury's going to rejoin just before Bryn can get there. But A. Smith from Jamie Brazier, from Forsey, from Dan. As Dan now about to pull out and has a look around the outside of Forsey, who goes a little deep. And Dan, that's why he's a 5-time champion at Simplay Motorsport. Job done as easy as you like for an Orthodox here. And that is P3. Even with that bit of end plate damage on the right-hand side of his wing, it is nice to see Gary in the pits then. That has dropped him down these standings. No end here. Yellow flag in the middle sector. That is Bryn, who has gone round again, so he's had a bit of a nightmare at the moment to his night on the F2s. Do apologies then, as Fury's granddad says that he did hear me, so I do apologise for that in the chat. But 13 drivers in this sprint race, and what a sprint race this is so far. Jamie gaining once again, back on A. Smith for the lead then of this race in the sprint. Gary exiting the pit lane as Leon Fernie now comes round. Gary's gone to the soft tyre, so should be quicker than Leon Fernie. Leon Fernie coming down the straight. You can see the little dots on the track map. Gary out the pits, and away he goes. Leon Fernie will have to tuck in behind at this moment in time. So then we go again. Jamie Big Boy Brazier here has to reload and re-go as Forsey gaining on the back of Dan as well. So DRS will be open. We'll go to Jamie then, who's 2/10 off the back of A. Smith. And you imagine Smith, Jamie's had some great straight line speed in this race, and you imagine Smith, he's just going to be a sitting duck. Fastest lap for Jamie Brazier, pulls to that inside line, and that'll be job done into turn one. If you're Forsey, you've got the job done on an Orthodubs as well, and that is another position gain for Forsey. Smithy will drop to second, but will have DRS for this part of the circuit as well then. So Forsey currently being able to just make up some more ground. Smithy just being able to make up some more ground, as will an Orthodubs. And Smithy then can't get it done by the hairpin. Really closes under braking. What about an Orthodubs? No, he thinks better of it as well. PN will have DRS on Lucas Roth. Was he? Yes, just DRS on Lucas Roth there. Yellow flag sector 2. That is Bryn once again, who's had a little mistake coming through the uphill. Right-hander stays well off the track there then. Gets going now and casually rejoins off track as the top 4 come through. Dan gaining on the back of Forsey. Smithy trying to stay with him as well. Craigie did have DRS on Smoky Devil, but wasn't close enough to catch. Leon Fernie has it on Gary. They're only coming down the start straight. Will Leon Fernie look to make a move into turn 1? Does look up the inside, but can't get it done there. That gap quickly closes, and back to the leaders as Smithy is going to be just on the back of Jamie Brazier. He's a little wider through there though, and has actually lost all his momentum. He's lost 0.4 of a second to Jamie through that part of the lap, and now that is going to hurt him. Did he get DRS? I don't think so. No, he didn't. For an Orthodubs though, he will have DRS on the back of Forsey. That rear wing flaps open, and here comes Unorthodox then over Forsey. Down the straight line they come. Dan having a look, but he's not close enough out the back part of the lap. A man who is close enough is this man, PN Motorsport, on the back of Lucas Roth, and Lucas Roth wing damage is really hurting him here, and down the inside goes PN. That for P6 and 7. P8 is the final points place, don't forget, but Lucas Roth around the outside gets him back. Craigie also gets the DRS, and he's going to look to make the move on Smoky Devil. That is job done. PN now just losing out massively to Lucas Roth after that. What about Dan after the DRS zone? No gain there. Smoky Devil will have DRS back on Craigie. Let's go on board Smoky Devil then. Watch for the flap at the back to open on the rear wing. There it goes now. No, it hasn't opened. It does now. So a little late to get the DRS activated with Smoky Devil. And down into the hairpin they come. Nothing happens there. Leon Fernie within DRS range of Gary 131, and you'll just be able to see Leon Fernie pulling Gary 131 in a little bit. Smoky Devil has got past Craig round the outside then into the middle sector. Smoky Devil then back up into 8th place. Job done for him. Dan is coming in the DRS. Jamie's absolutely gone out front. He has bolted, and Dan here then, don't forget, if these leaders can get to the end of this sprint race, they don't need to pit. But we're all seeing Dan within 0.6 of a second on the back of Forsey. What will that be after the DRS range? 0.7 as they come out of the final part of the corner. And Dan, you just see now gaining with DRS. He's not close enough, but 0.5 a second. And let's just see the onboard of Dan. as he comes up to that second DRS. So Forsey will soon enough get DRS from Smithy, as PN now has got past Lucas Roth with DRS. But Lucas Roth will have DRS back on him. Now Dan, a little closer, 2/10 into a 10th. Yellow flag, turn 1. That's Lucas Roth who's gone round. Dan couldn't get the move done, and Lucas Roth round at turn 1. And is that even more wing damage for the young Scot? I don't think so. I think it just looks as it was a little earlier. But Smokey Devil and Craig Ear gaining on the back. Smokey Devil on for a point on his F2 debut. Gary's now pulled away from Leon Fernie. Fury 12th and Bryn down in 13th at the minute. But Jamie leads from A. Smith from Forsey, who has got unorthodox all over the back of him here. And Dan just trying to set him up. Yellow flag sector 2. And I believe that's another sprint for Bryn then. Struggling at the same section of track is Bryn. And so here comes Dan on the back of Forsey. This is where Dan seems to lose a lot of time and just be too far behind. That then is Smokey Devil, who's now had a spin. Exactly the same Port Bryn span. Smokey Devil's lost the rear of the car, and that's dropped him out the points. He's given a point back to Craig E. That's allowed Gary to get a bit closer. He's not close enough though. 31 seconds behind, and Dan has lost a monumental time. Lost 3/10 through that last part of the couple of corners. Forsey nearly in DRS range of A. Smith, and Dan here then is in DRS range of Forsey, but not enough for him to be really close. The second detection zone coming up. Forsey's not close enough to Smithy as they go through the detection zone now. Dan might just be out of DRS range here, so let's go back to unorthodox. Does this rear wing open? No, Sedan lost a lot of time there and is out of the detection zone while Forsey's gaining on A. Smith like you would not believe, and Gary will want his teammate to try and keep station and keep A. Smith and keep Forsey behind him. 20 people watching. Guys, girls, don't forget, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are fast approaching 300 subscribers, as the poll for the race winner will end in 3 laps time. It's currently going the way of Gary 131. The only man on that poll that is in the top 4 is A. Smith. But Jamie Brazier on his first F2 outing doing fantastic at the moment to get to the very end. Fury down in 12th. No points for him at the minute. Nor any points for Bryn, Gary and Leon Fernie and Smokey Devil. Gary could lose out some big, I'd say some big points, but because of it being the sprint race, you only get currently 6 points for third, does Forsey, and he's 11 behind. So actually, Gary, even if Forsey wins this race, will not be behind Forsey in the championship and will have that chance to make it up in the second race. Forsey now then, DRS, no, but closer to Smithy, 100%, and Forsey having the run down the straight compared to Smithy. And he's getting a lot closer. Bit of track limits there from Smithy and from Forsey. Got to make sure they watch that, because the game will be penalising them as they come through. Very quiet in the chat tonight. Don't forget, Leon Fernie has that 10-second time penalty, so he will currently lose out to Fury, as well as Fury trying to close that gap. Gary has the gap down to 19 seconds to Smokey Devil. Good evening to Fury's mum in the chat. And now, up the hill they come. This is the closest battle on track at the minute. Let's just go on board Forsey. You see unorthodox just behind him in the distance. It's gone very cloudy here from qualifying. We had a really beautiful sunny qualifying, and the cloud cover has thickened up. What can these drivers do? Gary sets the fastest lap of the race, and he is inside that top 10, so we'll get the point for the fastest lap. He's now 8 seconds behind Smokey Devil, still with just over halfway to go in this race. That's Bryn, same corner. Bryn really struggling at that section of track as he'll come on behind Lucas Roth and Craig E. And now Forsey, 0.4 of a second to A. Smith, will have DRS over Smithy. And here we go, as we have lost Bryn once again, then hopefully he can get back in. And Forsey pulls out to the right. There goes Smithy in the background. And Smithy actually keeps it up the inside, and the pair tap and tap again. And Dan goes through the middle of him. He must have wondered what was happening there. Dan goes through the middle, and that absolutely brilliant driving from Dan, as Forsey now drops to 4th. Will have DRS, as will Smithy on unorthodox as well. But did Forsey give Smithy enough room? Was Smithy a bit too optimistic to still be up the inside? But now it's Dan in P3 and Smithy, who runs a little wide there. DJ Phil running P5. So for the high-tech boys, real good points on offer here. Now Forsey gets past and Smithy tucks back in once again. And Smithy will have to try and stick with him. The problem is no wing damage for Forsey. A bit of end plate damage for A. Smith. Gary pumps in another fastest lap. He's now 16 seconds behind Smoky Devil. This man out front has checked out. And Dan now into second place. Craig E on the back of Lucas Roth a little further down the pack then. This for P8 and 7, so the final couple of points calling. Scoring some decent points at the moment, and Lucas Roth, you know, he's only going to score a couple of points, but it's a couple of points on the less. 23 people watching A-Lives. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. We are so close to the 300 mark, it's unbelievable. And don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we're live Wednesday and Thursday for the GT3 Pro and Pro-Am. As here goes Craig E within that DRS range. Now Forsey has DRS on Dan but couldn't get past. Let's go back to Craig E. Half a second to Lucas Roth. Does he have? He will have DRS. Does he have that chance? A chance to get closer under the DRS zone? Through the final corner they come now. And here they go. Down the start straight. Half a second he is behind. Let's watch him close on the back of Lucas Roth. The DRS flap opens then. And onto the back of Lucas Roth he comes now. Look at how much he gains here as he pulls out now. And he's going to look up the inside of Lucas Roth and Craig E, P7. But Lucas Roth then will have DRS next. He's trying to come back at him actually. Doesn't want that second bit of DRS. So that'll once again give Craig it. And a bit of wing damage now for Craig. That's an end plate fallen off there as he just taps the back of Lucas Roth under braking. Smoky Devil gaining on these, as is Gary 131. And Craig E's rear wing will open here. But he's not enough to get close to Lucas Roth on this one. Only a shorter DRS zone in this race. So for Craig E, this is an opportunity then to see what he can do. Now he's got that wing damage. Will he fall into the clutches of Smoky Devil? Gary's coming at a rate of knots, 13.5 seconds to Gary 131 in this race. As there is a change for second place on Orthodubs and Forsey, look, battling it out. And Dan just giving Forsey enough room there. Nearly forced him completely wide, but just give him enough room. Smithy in the background trying to stay with him. Forsey will have DRS once again. And on board Dan as the sun, look, you see to the right hand side of the circuit, just trying to poke its head out and warm the track temperature up a little bit more. Dan stays ahead of Forsey once again. Leon Fernie, 10-second time penalty to his name. That'll mean that Fury will finish ahead of him. And for Forsey then, 3/10 is the gap to unorthodox. Jamie has just checked out up front. Gary, 12.3 seconds to Smoky Devil. That gap's coming down. Lap 14 of 26 sprint race. Feature race coming up straight after, don't forget. So you will not want to go anywhere. As here comes then Unorthodox, 0.4 of a second, separating himself and Forsey. You'd imagine the straight line speed of Forsey, depending on his run out here, should get on the back of Dan. He actually closes on Dan. Oh, maybe a bit of track limits at the end to give himself a better run. But the gap's down to 0.2 of a second, and this time going to fight it. He goes defensive now, and here comes Forsey to try and go around the outside. Does he have it done this time? No, he's very wide. Dan's just kept it within the limits, and Forsey then has to stay behind Dan. Cannot gain that place off of the track. As Dan then now has Forsey closer at the second DRS zone. Now where does Dan decide to defend? He goes defensive now. Forsey decides he's going to take a look into the hairpin. Does Forsey do it on the brakes? He gets it stopped. Yes, he does. Dan going to try and come back at him though. He'll be on the inside for this little left-hand bend. The outside for the right-hander coming up in a moment. And Dan, still with Forsey, cannot get past. Will try and tuck underneath. No, he can't. Forsey back into second. So a great little scrap between these two. Back down the pack then. Craig E gaining on Lucas Roth once again as well. As these are coming into the next DRS zone. Smoky Devil's right with these now. He's in DRS range of Craig E, who's round the outside of Lucas Roth. And did Craig get the DRS there or Lucas Roth? Lucas Roth gets the DRS, I think, on Craig. No DRS open, actually, down here For none of them, as Smokey, I think, loses more of his front wing as he goes into the back of Lucas Roth, and yes, has lost even more of it. Gary, only 8 seconds behind. So he's really now on a mission to catch the front runners. Dan losing out massively to Forsey, but will have DRS here. Let's see what Dan can do down the straight. DRS flap open. And can Dan then get on the back of him? No, gets within half a second. Forsey just seems to have enough through the corners. Jamie has absolutely gone up front. Let's go back to the Lucas Roth battle because he has lost out to Craig E. Evening to Mystic Energy, who says, let's go Fury. Lucas Roth now on the back of Craig E. Gary within 5 seconds now of Smokey Devil. See, Gary is coming. And Smokey Devil, with that wing damage, may want to get himself into the pits, but that could also promote Leon Fernie, Leon Fernie and Fury. Bryn a little further back. I think Bryn's actually a lap down to these cars. As across the line they came there, and Lucas Roth couldn't get any closer. Smokey Devil's dropped 2 seconds behind, but that front wing is going to be hurting him. And Gary will be able to see the back, there, look, of Smokey Devil. So Gary's coming here then. Dan, 7/10 behind Forsey. This is where Dan seems to lose his time to Forsey at the minute. He's losing all his time at this last sector of the track. And this for Dan could be absolutely crucial. Then lap 17 of 26. So we're coming to the end of the sprint race. And you have to say, Big Boy Brazier has just dominated this one. He got through the traffic. He's 12.5 seconds up the road. And Dan, even with the DRS open, he's not closing that much on Forsey. Smithy doing well in 4th. Phil up in 5th as well. So Phil having another good run here. But for an Orthodubs, it is not what he wants. Lucas Roth gaining on the back of Craig E. 9/10 of a second there. And Dan with that second DRS zone just getting the car under 8/10 of a second, but under the braking, Dan losing out. And it's possibly because he's got no end plate on that wing. Smithy's now even gaining on Dan. Just a little bit it may be. I think that's just gone back up now. Lucas Roth was out of DRS. No, he was in DRS range. Smokey Devil is going to come to the pits. That promotes Gary, who sets another blistering fastest lap. He's now 3 seconds off the back of Lucas Roth to take more points away from the Carlin team, maybe. Can he get himself ahead of the Carlin car? The ART team. Smithy up in 4th. ART currently leading the Constructors' Championship as well. So if Gary can get in the points, that'll be even better for him. Smokey Devil has been unlapped by Bryn and passed by Leon Fernie and Fury. Then Fury could get a top 10 here, as the soft tyres actually would have got you to the end. So Gary went mediums. How good a decision was that? I suppose we'll see if Leon Fernie starts to catch Gary towards the end, although his tyres are 2 laps older than Gary. 16 laps Lucas Roth's tyres have done. 17 laps, should I say, they're coming to do, because they're at the end of the lap. The leaders are just that far in front. Dan trying to stick within a second of 4, as you see there on the timing screens. We're watching Gary 131 currently. Not seeing much of DJ Phil tonight. 15 seconds behind Smithy, but has a good 7-second gap to PN Motorsport at the minute. Coming down the start straight. And a big ask for Pierre Craig, well out in front of Lucas Roth out the DRS range. One man who's in DRS range is this man, and his tyres a lot fresher than Lucas Roth. Lucas Roth, look, goes super defensive super early, but I have a feeling that that's not even going to matter. It doesn't matter, as Gary 131 now into the points, and with that fastest lap as well, Lucas Roth will now have DRS to try and get onto the back of Craig E once again, maybe then. But Gary up to P8. In the points, 1 point for him, so that will, Keeks very wide there. That will help Gary just extend that gap over Forsey, or I say just extend it, just keep that gap over Forsey a little stronger now, as Dan can't do anything about Forsey at the minute. Gary looking to get some more points, as Lucas Roth now doesn't have a single point to his name. Gary coming onto the back of Craig E within a second, and just patiently waiting. Does he have the 17 seconds it's going to take to get to PN? I don't think so. But he is trying his best here to get within the range of just scoring a few points. Don't forget the extra point for the fastest lap as well. Now Gary, right on the back of Craigie. Does he think of sending it up the inside here? You bet your bottom dollar he does, as Gary 131 there, ever the man to get a move on, does the job, doesn't want the DRS as they come through to the detection zone. Gary's already 7/10 clear of Craigie. Craig should just be in DRS range as Leon Fernie and Fury then are battling down the order. Here's Fury on board him. Oh, has to get out the throttle now up the inside of Leon Fernie, and that could be job done for him. Smokey Devil 24 seconds behind. Lucas Roth clearly deciding then that his wing is causing him too much damage and is pitting. This will put Fury and Leon Fernie up another place as here they come. And Leon Fernie has lost out to Fury, and I think maybe out of the detection zone then of the DRS. Let's see if that flap opens. No, stays firmly shut, but will get past Lucas Roth, who's only just in the pits. Might come out ahead of Smokey Devil, who's being lapped by the leaders. And as Smithy, the next car to lap him as well. 15 seconds, Gary, TPM Motorsport, what can they do? Lucas Roth only just coming out of the pits. Smokey Devil might get ahead of Lucas Roth here, you know. There's Lucas Roth, there's Smokey Devil. Yellow flag in the first sector, not sure who that is. That is Bryn staying out of the way of the lap cars, and Lucas Roth does lose out to Smokey Devil, but fresher soft tyres can now get back on the pace and hopefully try and catch onto the back of Smokey Devil. Craigie's lost 3 seconds to Gary. Gary's got his gap to PN down to 14 seconds. Now, if these soft tyres do start to drop off at the end of a lap, we'll have to wait and see, because if that happens, Gary could gain on PN Motorsport. He's some 22 seconds behind Phil, so I have my doubts over him catching DJ Phil as Gary pumps in yet another fastest lap of the race. This man is absolutely flying at the moment. Gary 131 then really is driving a great race. Leon Fernie once again within a second of Fury here then. So let's just see if Leon Fernie can... No, I don't think he's... Did he get the DRS? That's the question. He has. He opens it up now, so should gain on Fury down this straight. Did Fury get DRS from the car in front, which I think is Bryn, the back marker? And Dan's tyres then, I've just got Dan to flick his tyres up on my screen that I can see on my mobile in front of me. Dan's tyres 47% worn. Yellow flag sector 2, that's Craigie, who is just... He's had a bit of a big off there then at this tricky section, and this could allow for a few cars to gain. Now then, Dan's tyres look very interesting on that front left. On lap 20, let's not forget, 21. So Gary's much fresher tyres. PM Motorsport might start to feel these effects soon of the tyres going off. And is this why Gary went mediums before having to pit for wing damage? Because he knew his tyres would be faster at the end. For Gary then, this could be fascinating to see here. So Craigie, big spin, got on before Fury and Leon Fernie, who's out that DRS range. Lucas Roth has passed Smokey Devil somewhere. He's cleared the DRS range of that as well. Jamie leads, huge lead of 13 seconds. He's just lapped Fury and Leon Fernie then. And now he's on his way to start lap 22. Forsey on second place with Dan 2 seconds behind him nearly. Smithy some 5.9 behind, 6 seconds now behind. DJ Phil 18 behind him. PN 6 seconds behind DJ Phil, so he's closing that gap, and Gary's got the gap down to 17 seconds to DJ Phil. Gary has the gap down to 11 seconds to PN. Craigie after a spin, which will do his tyres no good. Fury and Leon Fernie, you would imagine to be fine on the mediums, as will Lucas Roth and Smokey Devil on them softer tyres. And Bryn, a lap down. Not been the race Bryn would have wanted here, but nonetheless, another race start to add to his collection. As Jamie has dominated this race. Gary now has the gap to 10 seconds to PN Motorsport and some 11 seconds to DJ Phil. So Gary absolutely charging at the moment, really chomping at the bits. Lap 22 of 26. A bit quieter than Bahrain at this stage of the race. But the tyre strategies, I suppose, for the drivers here has been the main thing. Mediums would have worked. And Plava. Keegs has minus 1.2 fuel again. So I'm not sure what's happened to Keegs' fuel. But he's surely going to have to lift and coast, says Amplava in the chat. 22 people watching, 10 likes on the stream. Guys, girls, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new. As Jamie, a tenth down on his fastest lap. Forsey getting the lap on Bryn. Now, will Dan actually get a bit of DRS off of Bryn's car here? You can see there, Bryn not in the car, so he's not managed to get back in. And Dan will get that slipstream. Didn't get DRS. Bryn did, though, from the back of Forsey then. Now, Gary has the gap under 8 seconds to PN Motorsport. Absolutely charging is Gary 131 at this moment in time. And them drivers' tyres must be dropping off here. Peaceful Stepdad, evening to you. Jamie, you've got this, he says. Very good evening to Peaceful Stepdad. This man here then, trying to make some more points up. Leon Fernie losing out to Fury massively. Lucas Roth trying to gain. Gary sets another fastest lap. And with the pace he's running at the minute, absolutely flying is Gary 131. 12 seconds to DJ Phil, 6 seconds to PN. Yellow flag in sector 2, and that is that on Orthodubs? No, it's Lucas Roth, who's had a moment, and Smokey Devil gets through. Evening, JR. Nice to hear you from you again, JR. He says, nice to hear us as well. Brilliant, not seen you around, JR, for a while, so it's nice to hear you on the stream again. I hope you'll be joining in for the ACC streams as well that come up in August. Gary, though, 6 seconds to PN. PN's closing in on DJ Phil. And for Gary 131, he's got 3 laps here to close out 5.8 seconds. Absolutely flying for PN with Jamie here. Fury's now got a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to hurt him because Leon Fernie's got a 10-second time penalty behind. But for Gary 131, has he got enough time to get ahead or to get close to PN Motorsport? PN's 4.6 to DJ Phil. Has he got enough time to get on the back of DJ Phil? These are the big questions. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit the bell to be notified. Pro-Am back on Wednesday night, 8 PM BST at the Brno circuit in Czech Republic. Second night race of the season. It's Gary only half a tenth down on his best lap of the race. So Gary flying at the minute. And yellow flag sector 3. That is once again Craig E. Fury looks like he could get past Craig E just on ahead of Jamie Brazier. And Fury now on the back of Craig E. Is he within a second? No, he's not, so will not gain that time. And just looking at these tyres, the tyres here look fine. Let's have a look actually at Jamie Brazier's tyres leading this race. It's a bit dark to see at the minute. We will wait for him to come out of the stadium section. Yeah, his tyres don't look bad. They don't look as bad as Bahrain last week. You can see there were a bit of graining on that middle part of the tyre. You can see it a bit more clear on Dan's. Dan's tyre is obviously having to work harder with that wing damage. And look at Dan's front left is the tyre that's going to take the battering. And you see Dan's tyre definitely looking a little worse for wear. What about PN's who had tyre problems last week? Nothing else there. Looks quite nice from PN. But that gap to Gary, 2.6 seconds. And they're about to start lap 25 of these two. So Gary absolutely charging here. He's 6 seconds to DJ Phil. Fury on the back of Craig E then. Is Fury about to make a move on Craig E for another position? This will give him P8 and crucially a point. Gary, fastest lap of the race. Tyres look good to Peaceful Stepdad. Yeah, they did to me as well. Fury as Craig E runs deep, trying to get the good run out of the corner, looking for that extra point in this race. Round the outside, gets the extra point. This man then, 1.7. Can see PM right in front of him. He's 5 seconds to DJ Phil. DJ Phil's lost a lot of time to PM through this part of the lap. Gary could be on for maybe a 5th place. He's going to get one last lap really to attack PN. Maybe the end of this lap he can attack PN. He might get one chance to attack the back of DJ Phil. Jamie Brazier starts his last lap of the race. as it's going very, very overcast again here. Gary now within a second of PN Motorsport. Craigie within a second of Fury. These will have DRS on this part of the lap, so keep an eye on Gary's Delta coming down. It's tumbling down here as the DRS opens for Craigie, but not going to make the inroads. Back forward to Gary then, who wants to get PN done. Does he want the DRS? So there's DJ Phil. You can just see 3.5 ahead of this battle. If any man can catch him, it will be this man, as PN very, very, very wide. Gary stays behind. Will tuck up the inside now, and I think may have just got himself DRS. We'll see for the rear wing to flap open. And it was PN who got the DRS. So Gary, no DRS, but 3.5 off the back of DJ Phil then. And can Gary, who's now up to P6, get the job done now? A huge wiggle after hitting the curb there. And a huge slide. Yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2. That, I think, is Lucas Roth, who's having to go slow. Might be out of fuel, but for this man, what a dominating display on his first F2 outing. Big boy Brazier is going to take the sprint race win. It's been dominance from Jamie Brazier. Forzy looking like he's going to get a P2. 2.6 ahead of Dan. Craigie and Fury have finished a lap down. Craigie back ahead of Fury due to Fury's time penalty by 0.6. Fury, though, at 40, though, will come across for P2. Great for him there on Orthodox P3. As Lucas Roth has had to retire from the session and will finish P12 unless Bryn gets past him. A. Smith will cross the line for P4, so big points for A. Smith. Now, DJ Phil, who Gary will not get past due to the fact he had that big wiggle, may have got past him. Phil, though, very slow at the minute, and you feel that if Gary would have got past him had he not had that moment. DJ Phil then needs a clean exit here, needs no mistakes out of this final bend. It's going to be DJ Phil for a P5. Gary is going to come across for P6. PM Motorsport will get P7. Craigie has already finished down in 8th. For Fury, it was 9th place for him. And what a job then for these top runners, as we are just having a little problem once again with the point standings. I'm not quite sure why we're having this problem then. So Fury got 9th place in that race. It was Leon Fernie who finished P10. And it was Smoky Devil who finished P11 in that one then. So we will get you the fastest lap of the race, went the way of Gary 131 who finished in P6 as well. We will bring you the feature race in just a moment. And welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, here for the feature race. Then the formation lap begins now. And the feature race will begin in just a moment then, as we have, let's go to that. Right, there we go, all set. So then, 13 drivers still take to the grid, and for this man, he has gained some points back, but Gary still leads the Drivers' Championship. 7 points he leads from Forzy. Rabbit Joe still in 3rd place with Lucas Roth down in 14th. PN in 5th place. DJ Phil up to 6th. Tied with Unorthodox now. Fury's down in 8th. Big Boy Brazier straight into 9th place. Craigie 10th from A. Smith. Bryn and then Shane, Leon Fernie, that Bozzy Boy and Smoky Devil yet to get off the mark. And then Bryn says he had settings problems on his wheel, so he's back in for this second race. High Tech lead the Constructors from ART now. So it is Forzy and DJ Phil that lead the Constructors Championship from ART, with Carlin in P3. Trident down in 4th place now after Prema dropped to 5th. They are 3 points behind. HWA Race Lab on 9 points. MP Motorsport on 1 and Campos Racing and Uni Vitozzi Racing yet to get off the mark then. 22 people watching, 10 likes, guys, girls. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button in the chat. And who will win race 2? That is the big question, because obviously this is the qualifying now from what this is the start grid now from what we had qualify in race 1. So Unorthodox, Big Boy Brazier, Forzy will start at the front as well as Leon Fernie. Gary 131 down in 5th place, so he's got work to do as Gary 131. And what will happen in this one? Smoky Devil, Lucas Roth and Fury. Lucas Roth had fuel problems again. That's why he ran out of fuel at the end. But it's another race start for him, and it's another win. It's a first win, of the season for Big Boy Brazy. So he was tied on 23 wins with Gary 131. He's now back to 5 behind Fury in the overall race wins here at Simplay Motorsport. 24 race wins now for Jamie Brazy, so Gary will be hoping to get that one back in this one then, as the drivers line up on the grid for the final time tonight. And 30 odd laps of this race, not quite sure yet while we're waiting for players, as Bryn has managed to get himself in then. As it says, we're waiting for Smoky Devil. I'm not quite sure what we are waiting for Smoky Devil for. Either way, we'll be getting to the line in just a moment. And then hopefully we can get going as well. Not quite sure what's happening here. As most of the votes in the chat at the minute go in the way of Jamie Brazier. No votes for Forzy or Gary just yet. Dan as well has a vote or two to his name. And the stream saying we're waiting for Smoky Devil. I'm not quite sure why. Here, as we're about to get going in race 2. In terms of race starts, Unorthodox, the man who's racing tonight, the next closest to his 150th. He's on 125. Bryn, he's a start away from... Sorry, he's 8 starts away from his next goal. And that goal is race number 100. As I don't know what is happening here. We're just getting that we are waiting for Smoky Devil. So I reckon we're going to need to redo this lobby. Right, so we're going to take a very quick break and we're going to be back with the redone lobby of the feature race, so stay tuned.